Beta, teaching you a lesson on how to use the magazine sandwich technique. I call it sandwich technique because essentially you're using layers to kind of sandwich the text. Essentially, you're going to have two images in your text. Imagine the two images, the crown, the heel of the bun, and the top of the bun, and the text being like the sandwich meat. Okay? And it'll all make sense when you see this. All right, so I have the image, and what I'm going to do here is right click and duplicate the layer. So I have two layers of each other. Okay. To prove this, I'll just grab my selection tool here, and you can see that there's two of the same. I'll press Command Z and go back a step. So what you want to do is have the original background image alone. Don't touch it. It's locked already, so it's good that way. Now, if I wanted to, I will go in and use whatever technique you know best to crop out. Me personally, because it's a magazine, I'm going to use a pen tool. So bear with me. I'm going to bore you guys with my pen tool. And I'm going to pen tool, not the whole body. Now, if you want to do the whole body, you can. But I just want the top half of her head because that's where the text is going to be behind. So I'm just going to crop around this portion of the face. So I'm going to zoom in. Using my pen tool. So for those of you that did the flower, okay, now the picture wasn't the greatest. It's just an example here. It's a little blurry. Okay. Could I've used other techniques? Sure, if you want to use a quick selection tool, the magic wand tool. I may have got lucky with the magic wand tool because the background is pretty blue and it may have worked. But anyways, let's imagine I did a decent job, not to bore you guys. Uh, okay, and I'm just gonna cut some of these here. All right, and I'm just gonna go across because I just want to do the head. So in this case, I'm gonna right click, make selection. Now you could use the vector path as well, but I'm just gonna do a mask, and I'm going to select everything else. So I'm going to inverse it, and I'm going to delete it. Now, you're technically wondering what just happened here, but you can tell you did something because you can see the thumbnail. It's got a transparency. So really, it's just a floating head. Okay, so the magic is you leave them where they are placed. Okay, don't move this because you're going to throw everything off. If I do this, it's bad. All right, so Command Z. Don't do that. All right, so what I'm going to do is hide the first one. I'm going to save this. I'm going to call it File Save As, and put it in the folder that you're saving your magazine in. Right. I'll put it in this one. I'll say base. Okay, it's saved. Beautiful. And then file save this. So I'm gonna press Command Shift S. Same thing. I'm gonna call this top. The trick is using the eyeball to hide the other layer alternate. So I'm saving the base only with the eyeball only on the base, and then saving the top only with the top layer image only. Okay, and Photoshop knows that you hid the other one, so it only brings in what's visible. So when I go back to Illustrator, okay, and I'm not saying you're mean. I'm just saying that's what's okay. It is what it is. I'm gonna remove this picture out of here. Okay, the graphics are still there. They're just different color. Let's go and place the image, and I'll bring both of them in. Desktop. What was the name of that folder? Photos, right? 100. So there's the base. I'm gonna place it. Objects. Okay, we're gonna press OK. And then I'm gonna place the top. Same thing. Now, I made a mistake. I moved the graphic. Not a big deal. I'll grab both images and I'll tell them to align center and center of each other. Whoops. Sorry, I made a mistake. File, place. Top. Yeah, don't make sure you don't have import hidden layers. I messed up here. Anyways. There was supposed to be an option that puts the Photoshop file directly above it. Anyways, I manually did it right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do, maybe I'll just shrink this really quickly. So I'm moving both objects right now. Now, what's important is the layer order. So what I'm going to do here is grab the base layer, and press Command X, put that in the layer below. So Command F, and it's going to paste it right in place. I'm going to grab the head, Command X, and go to the top layer. My text is ready in the middle. So this is the sandwich technique. I got my crown and then my top. I'm going to press Command F. Okay? And technically, if you look, text is behind because I have that layer, the base image, and the top image sandwiched in between. And that's how you do it. So it's just really saving two files, the bottom, the top, make sure they're on top of each other, and then just put them in between. Now, if I wanted to clip mask this, I could. So I'll clip mask. I'll just lock the text layer so I don't touch it. Let's go to the layer here. And I'll just quickly drag this. If you select that, I'm going to press Command F7. Oops, one sec. I made a mistake. I didn't want the top image. I'll lock that as well, sorry. Oops. This should have been on that layer here, my bad. Command F. Command F7, and voila. Is that cool? So that's the technique, just cropping in Photoshop, saving it as two different layers, bringing them in, placing them on top of each other, and just playing with the layer order. And then you can sandwich the technique. And remember, if you lock these ones now, and you click on your text layer, you can move anything on that text layer up and down, left, right, and it won't affect it. But this is going to look weird because I only cropped top of her face, right? So if I put it here, I'm going to lose, it's going to go through her text because that's where I stopped cropping her, right? Is that cool? That's the video, guys.